Hi, my name is Janice and I work for the Pensacola Police Department as a communications supervisor for the dispatch center. I am in charge of the call takers and dispatchers that make up our group that help the city and provide customer service for the public. Most of the duties for a telecommunicator or call taker and dispatcher require us to be able to answer the telephones, whether it's a 911 call or just a call from a citizen. We have to take that call and enter it into the computer so that we can dispatch someone to help. A dispatcher is the person who actually handles the radio portion, although their duties also require them to answer the telephones as well when necessary. A dispatcher is the person who is in touch with the officers on the street. They wear a headset, they dispatch calls, they assist the officers in what they do on the road, whether it's a traffic stop or answering the responses for 911. All of this entails that they have to use what we call a computer-aided dispatching system. You have to be able to multitask to use this system. You also have to be able to talk to the community in a calm as possible manner. We work a 10-hour-a-day shift 4 days a week, so they have 3 days off every week. When you talk about a stress level related to this type of job, it's very high. Number one, you're dealing with a community that some people just need help. They're very polite. They just want some assistance. Other times you'll get 911 calls where people are extremely frustrated. You're the person that they speak to first, so the first thing they want to do is yell at you. You have to be able to take that in, help them out, find out what they need and where they need it, and then you have to send someone to help them. One of the most typical calls that we receive on 911 are vehicle accidents. I don't think people realize that everyone has a cell phone nowadays, and when we get an accident, every single person likes to dial 911. So not only do we get the accident, but we get anywhere from 10 to 15 calls on the same accident. When we receive an accident, we send law enforcement. If there are injuries, which in many cases there are, we notify the fire department and rescue to respond. One part of the job is that we're responsible to be at work during times of natural disasters. Where most people would be at home with their families, you're required to come to work and stay until you're let go. An example of that would be the hurricanes. Everyone reports to work and they stay here until things are back somewhat to normal. And then they're allowed to go home to their families and check their homes. The job requirements for a call taker are that you have a high school diploma or a GED equivalent and that you're at least 18 years of age. It is important that you have some customer service experience. It doesn't have to be anything big. You can work in a store. Anything where you have to deal with the public. You need to have at least a year experience in that. For a dispatcher, it's the same way, although there are other requirements for a dispatching job that you gain as a call taker. With a dispatcher, you have to have some experience in handling a radio and talking and listening on the radio. There are no specific licenses that you have to have, but it is very important with the skills that you are able to multitask. That means doing more than one thing at a time because you're going to be talking on the phone, typing on a keyboard, entering information, and you must be able to deal with the public. You're going to get a lot of calls that are very belligerent people, and you have to be able to handle those situations. There is a very high stress level associated with this job, and we do have a high turnover, so there's always a need for call takers and dispatchers in the communications field. The best part of this job is being able to help your community. to provide a public service for those who need it. I wanted to be an officer and couldn't. This was the next best thing for me. I truly enjoy this type of work. You get a satisfaction from helping others. The worst part of this job is knowing what happens to people. It can cause so much stress in your life, you have to learn how to deal with it. When you're discussing the types of calls that you get, you're dealing with all the things you see on TV, maybe not quite as bad in some cases, but you deal with shootings, knifings, robberies, other home situations, and it can be very stressful for those people, and it does come over to you. So I can only say that it is an extremely rewarding job, but you do need to work on the stress portion of it. There are certain examples of the types of calls that we receive. One of those is an officer that's been injured in the line of duty. I personally have dealt with that. It's very difficult to be in a room where you cannot help any other way except answer the radio. In the end, it does make you upset because it is usually someone that you already know, and you can't do anything to help except get them to the hospital as quickly as possible and clear the way. Another type of incident that I personally have had to deal with, and which is a problem nationwide, is a parent sleeping with their child. I have taken a call where a mother slept with her newborn infant and rolled over on the child and killed that child. She was extremely upset. It also made me upset, but I couldn't allow that to keep me from doing the job that I needed to do. Once it was over with, I was able to step away from my position and get myself back together. But it is a very difficult thing. My final advice for anyone who's interested in working in this field as a call taker or a dispatcher is to take the time to visit your local department. Ask if you can go in, see what's happening, what those people do, and just sit and observe so that you can find out if that's really what you want to do. It's not an easy job, but it is extremely fulfilling. Thank you.